All right. Hi, everybody. We are back with our third episode.
Episode 3. Episode 3.
That is correct. There's Dave. This is the Dave Show, so that's Dave.
Episode 3, everybody.
I'm Jackie. I ask him some questions, kind of keep him on track, but I think that these questions are interesting. So I'm asking the questions that I want to hear, unless Dave has something specific that he would like to talk about. And do you have anything specific that you want to talk about?
Specific? No. Not specific. I like when you just ask me questions because I don't really know what's coming usually, and it's like you just ask some shit and we talk about it, and then you call me out on it, and then when we shut the camera off, you say how much I sucked.
Yeah, I do. I say things like, "Can you just talk to the microphone? Can you look at the microphone?
Yeah.
Can you not like when you laugh? Can you not cover your mouth because people want to hear you laugh?" Yeah, Dave gets in a lot of trouble after these. I like to call it feedback, but I'm sure others might call it abuse. Anywho,
It's a strategy. It's a strategy session.
for sure. So you've got nothing. I want to talk about the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl is coming up.
I love the Super Bowl. You know why I love the Super Bowl? Because freaking the Patriots are usually in it. That's why I love the Super Bowl. But
Hold on, real quick. So let's talk about real quick. Let's just address the fact that you usually have to work on the Super Bowl and then like you're in a room talking about how your brand is doing, and you have to be tweeting and doing all kinds of social stuff and be very engaged with the audience.
everybody
And
loves to be tweeting on the Super Bowl. Everybody loves to,
And that's
to
usually-
gather in a room and tweet about it.
usually when your team's in it, the Patriots.
It's always sad to not be in it no matter what, because it's just like the whole year, and you gotta wait till next year. You just gotta always wait till next year.
Yeah.
This is the first time I was actually rooting for a team that wasn't my team after my team is gone. Like yesterday, the Lions, and it really made me sad that they didn't pull it off, or they didn't really make it. They didn't get over that hump, but because it's like that underdog story, the coach, just everything. How he rallied. He was just, a great leader that rallied the room and rallied his people and kind of built them up and encouraged them. And I don't know, there was just so much truth and honesty in how he led that team, especially in such a short period of time. So, I don't know, it was cool to see, and it would have been awesome to see them actually take the whole thing, especially because, people get sick of seeing the same teams take it year and year again. Trust me, I know. Because
you got sick of seeing the Patriots
because my
take
team
this.
have
Yeah,
won
I know.
so
Yeah,
many-
I
so
know. I
many
know how sick
times.
of it you were. Okay, let's talk about the Super Bowl. There's so much to talk about with Patriots. I'm so looking forward to the dynasty.
People already
I
tuned
know.
out.
I know. I understand. Everybody tuned out. I get it. But like, it's so much. I'm looking forward to that docu series, the dynasty.
yeah.
Okay. Either way, other things to talk about later. Super Bowl ads. What do you have to say about Super Bowl ads? Do you have any favorites?
Favorite.
Are there any that you're
This is-
looking forward to?
It's interesting. I don't know if I'm looking forward to any yet, because I don't know if I really pay too much attention and do much Super Bowl chatter, even though we were watching the games.
Well, there's
and
the
all that kind
Arnold
of stuff.
Schwarzenegger one.
Oh yeah, I always like Arnold Schwarzenegger, but
I don't know of the last time I saw him in a Super Bowl ad.
I just like him. I watch him all the time feeding his donkeys on Instagram.
Yes.
He's got donkeys. He's got his animals that he just kind of hangs out and feeds them, and they eat at the table with him and shit.
Yeah,
So
I'm looking forward to that.
I love Arnie in anything.
Mm.
But I don't know. It's interesting. I don't really know about Super Bowl commercials right this second that I'm looking forward to this year, and I don't really remember a lot of Super Bowl commercials too each year. It's like I usually remember like one or two.
What is
maybe
the one
this
that you
year, but
remember? It's gonna be like pulling fucking teeth. Go ahead.
I remember the Dunkin' Donut. The Dunkin' Donut one with Ben Affleck.
There you go. Okay. That's like one of my favorites
Is it?
from the other year. I don't remember
That's funny.
what year that was, if that was last year or the year
I don't know
before,
what
but
it is.
I thought it was terrific.
It's funny. I just think it's funny. It's like just the stereotypes that people always think that anybody from Massachusetts or anybody from the East Coast or whatever just
Is
all
an
of a
asshole.
sudden likes
Yeah.
they're an asshole. They like Dunkin' Donuts and they like
Well,
Ben,
do you like Dunkin' Donuts?
and they like Ben Affleck.
Do you like Dunkin' Donuts?
Do I like Dunkin' Donuts? There's some things I like about Dunkin' Donuts.
That's correct.
Everybody-
So all
America
Boston,
runs
all
on
people from
Dunkin'.
Boston like Dunkin' Donuts. I mean, there you go.
Yeah.
100% of people in this room from Boston like Dunkin' Donuts.
It's funny because I don't know if
I also like Dunkin'
I don't know if
Donuts.
people like
not
the
from Boston.
idea, or if people didn't like the idea or what, but anyway, I remember it probably because it's, hits a little bit closer to home, but I think I always like something that has like an experience involved in it anyway, that the idea that if they actually got Ben Affleck to hang out in the drive-thru, which they did for a little while, whether it's for just the stunt or how long he did that. Any real customers that actually do drive through and get that surprise and that shock value of being able to like see Ben Affleck, holy shit, when I went to get my coffee and my donut in the morning is kind of interesting. And that actually extends on social too, if they actually allowed that experience to really play out in real time in real life, because it's just, people will talk about that story and it's a life-changing experience that they'll be like, holy shit, that one time I went to Dunkin' Donuts and fucking Ben Affleck was working in the drive-thru.
Sure.
Blah, blah, blah. They'll talk about it forever. And I know that's just an individual experience with like one person or whatever, but when you share that picture, you share that story or whatever online, or just the idea that that actually happened in real life, people start to talk about it, like, oh, which Dunkin' Donut, what place was that? Why? Oh, that would have been cool to see that. There's just a lot that can kind of come from something like that, like a real experience. When you play something out as a real experience, I like that kind of. I like that.
Well,
kinda
also,
ad,
I think
kinda
that ad just resonates with everybody because I think we believe it. I think we believe that Ben Affleck eats Dunkin' Donuts. I mean, he smokes cigarettes.
He's got Dunkin' Donuts. He's got Dunkin' Donuts shoes, Dunkin' Donuts Nike Dunks. I think.
Whatever he's got. I mean, I believe he's having coffee, a donut, and a cigarette. And in no world do I believe that J-Lo's having a donut. I mean, she drinks chicken and rice for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I have no idea, but I've seen those ads. There's no way that she's eating Dunkin' Donuts. But for sure, I believe that he's eating it. And for sure, I believe that he's dressed like that, going there and ordering just like that. Like, so I don't know. It felt pretty real to me, even though it was a very staged type of stunt, and it was really great. So I think that one's very memorable because of how real it was.
Yeah.
Kind of felt like we were all there because we've all been to Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah.
And it also felt like we all wanted to be there when Ben went there. What other commercials?
Like a Girl
That's the best one.
was probably the best. It's like, I think,
I hope that campaign's not done.
I mean, it shouldn't
Is
be
it?
done because
It should be forever.
I don't know.
It should be forever.
That's the thing. It was built on a real truth, something that that's just been this lame stereotype for forever. That like a girl, I mean,
Was
it's,
a bad
and it's and it's a
connotation.
real saying. It's like that's what people say. I mean, growing up, especially from somewhere like Massachusetts, like there's all
Yes.
kinds of stereotypes and there's all kinds of whatever. It's just like, you throw like a girl, or you whatever like a girl. So it kind of resonates with everything. And then when you actually think about it, it's like, that's the fucking lamest shit ever. It's like, what does that even mean? That, and even growing up and playing sports and sports teams and things like that with girls on the team, or hockey, we had girls on the team.
It's lame
like,
because it's
it's like, that's the thing. It's lame because there's nothing truthful about the actual statement, but the tension in the statement and then turning it on its head and calling out the lack of truth in the statement like a girl and how big it's actually become.
well, now making like a girl being girls are fucking strong.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You flip the negative, which is
So yeah, like a girl.
To be-
I do
to
want to
be-
run like a girl because girls are fucking strong.
That's
And
what-
girls run
that's
through
what-
their fucking periods.
that's
And
what I'm
girls do
getting
all
at.
kinds of fucking shit.
that's what I'm getting at. Like a girl, in its original context, how
Pregnant
it was always,
women run.
how it was always presented was lame and untruthful.
Mm-hmm.
And like a girl, what that actually means.
Should be the complete opposite.
So I think that they did a great job, and I think that brought a lot of conversation, it brought a lot of tension, and it kind of flipped a stereotype to a positive, which I think is always the most powerful work, the most powerful types of ads you can put out there.
Yeah, I really like it a lot. I think it's fantastic. The one that I liked the other, I don't remember when it was. Again, I don't remember when these ads happened. Was the cryptocurrency ad. I don't know if it was for Coinbase. I think it was for Coinbase, where they just had a QR code up on the screen, which I obviously think is like one of the worst things that you can do. Just asking your audience to do anything to even get up off the couch to scan this bouncing QR code. I did like the way that it bounced. That was fun. But you have to catch it. But
You scanned it?
No, yeah, I scanned it, but I actually already had Coinbase, so.
So basically, it didn't give you anything. You scanned it, and what did it do?
I think it took me to Coinbase, but that's a great first step. Like, that is the first step, is downloading something or doing something. Anything that has to do with finances, you kind of have to get up off your butt.
Yeah.
But
Having Coinbase, when you scanned it, you didn't get anything for it. So it was really to get people to download Coinbase.
I think it was, just to download Coinbase, but it was also to introduce it, and I think that was a really successful commercial for me because it was incredibly simple, And it also had to do with the fact that if you're going to be a part of this group, if you're going to be one of our clients, then you do have to do something.
Yeah.
And so they were asking you, which I think is like the worst thing that you can do, is ask your clients to do anything or your audience to do anything, but it worked. I did it. I didn't like it. I didn't.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw that thing bouncing, I was like, "Oh, give me a fucking break!" And then I was like, "All right, well, what is this? Hold on."
Supposedly it worked. And
They paid what 20 some $million to bounce this thing around. I might as well scan it. See what it is.
It's a huge gamble because it's like if it didn't work or they didn't get downloads.
It
or
is
they
a
didn't get
huge
people to
gamble,
scan it
yeah.
or whatever it was, like they probably should have had a surprise there. They probably should have gave away $1 million or whatever. Or
They probably had something, but I don't remember. And I just remember being very, very curious. My curiosity trumped my laziness.
So that's It's I'm never curious. That's the thing. I guess with stuff like that, I'm never really curious about.
So you didn't scan it,
No, I don't think I scanned it.
liar.
There was the first thing is like I don't even think you can get your phone out fast enough. I don't even know if I
Your phone's already out.
either way. Yeah, it's always out. But that's now if somebody would have won $1 million and then I didn't scan it, I would be like, what the fuck? Why did you scan it? But I don't necessarily think I scanned it. Either way, that's cool. That's one you love. I also like the Volkswagen Star Wars kit, the Veda Star Wars kit.
don't remember that
Might be from a couple of years ago, but it was cute. It was well executed. It's just a story, just a film.
What is it?
And basically, this kid was dressed in his Veda suit, like, kind of playing by himself, kind of playing pretend, and he's trying to move shit with his hands. He's trying to move the cup, move the thing on the bed, move this, move that. Nothing moved. So he just like met with disappointment after disappointment after disappointment. His imagination was just starting to kind of dwindle, right? He didn't really have, nothing was working. And then he was outside, and then he's like he's waving his hands at the Volkswagen or at the car, and the fucking thing started up, and the lights lit up and whatever. And like his just natural reaction just kind of bugged
that's
out
adorable.
underneath
Okay,
the
yeah.
mask, and like you couldn't even see his actual reaction, but you could see it in his body and his reaction. Like he just turned around and you turn around to look at his parents who were in the window in the kitchen,
That's
and they
adorable,
fucking
yeah.
started the car with the remote start. And so it was for the remote start, so it was an actual payoff to a real product benefit and a real thing that they were trying to promote, which
Was it
they
like
executed
2005 commercial or something?
Who knows? I have no, that's the thing.
That's funny.
It is, I don't really remember. But
That's
it's
pretty
like-
good.
My favorite commercial, though,
ahead.
of all time, I don't even know if it's a Super Bowl commercial, is this freaking thing, Wind. Remember the Wind commercial? Where it's this like big misunderstood kind of like ogre like guy, and he's fucking walking around, and basically the idea is like nobody likes the wind. He's walking around, he's like ruffling people's hair with his hand, and he's fucking banging their newspaper when the guy's trying to read, so he can't really focus on reading the newspaper because he's ruffling around, and it's kind of like messes somebody's clothes up or like blows something down the stairs. And so it's all these disruptive things that the wind does,
That this man is doing.
that this man is doing. That's how they executed it in these few scenes. And it's just like, and the thing is, you feel so bad for this guy too, because like he's just walking around almost like sad, like he's just a bother to people,
Oh, yes.
and he is, because he's
Sounds
the
like it.
wind. But so it's like it brings you on this like emotional ride that I appreciate. But then
Do
at
we
the
know
end-
he's the wind in the commercial at first?
Well, I don't know. Like, well,
You don't
I think you
remember?
maybe start to get it. I think you start to get it like after like maybe a couple. But even if you don't, I don't think I really got it the first time. But then the payoff at the end, where it's like wind energy or wind turbine or whatever it was
Yeah.
for, and it was like, oh shit, like the wind has its place and its benefit, and it's not always
wind has its place.
It's not always a.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks for the permission.
Fuck off.
Sincerely, wind.
It's not always a bother. It's not always a disruption. And when you execute it with a person like that you can actually feel for, and it brings out that emotion, because you kind of start to feel for the guy. It's like, fuck, nobody likes this guy, but at the end, it's like, man, he's adding so much and contributing so much to the world. So there's some deep shit there that I really like.
Yeah, it sounds like an important commercial.
I like simple. It was so simply executed. So it's some of those things where I'm just like, fuck, I wish I would have made that. And I'd never actually made I don't even know if that was a Super Bowl ad, but I've never made a Super Bowl ad myself. Like, I've never actually filmed, I don't think. I think I've been on maybe one set or whatever for a Super Bowl commercial that wasn't mine, just to like watch them film it and stuff and just be there for one of our clients. But I never actually like had my idea or my thing on the Super Bowl. So I've never actually got to make a Super Bowl commercial. So who am I to judge everybody else's Super Bowl commercial? Everything, because that's what I do. I judge. But I mean, I made Super Bowl shit. I've had to be in those rooms where you're tweeting about Super Bowl and this and that. But anyway, I've worked on a lot of social stuff for Super Bowl. And some of those social things on the whatever gain more attention than the Super Bowl commercials themselves. Not to toot my own freaking horn or the people's horns that I've worked with, but those are kind of fun when you do get to be in a room and you actually steal the show. People actually started talking about that more so than some of the commercials that people are spending millions and millions of dollars on. So that's kind of one little nice excitement. Because I'm a big person who I don't like to spend money, and I like the idea of like, can you do something really cool without spending a lot of money? And so when you do on social, and it's really just about the idea itself, it's kind of a cool thing because it's a cool challenge, and you've actually had some success without spending a dollar on anything, which I think is kind of cool.
Well, I mean, I think that the Super Bowl commercial isn't meant, well, it's meant to definitely sell stuff for sure. It's an investment, but it's also, there are some guidelines and some rules, like you do need to entertain. There's a halftime show that's all about entertainment, and then there is the commercials, and the commercials have to entertain. And so there are people that literally watch the Super Bowl just for the commercials, and they're not just ad people. They're not just sick ad people at home watching commercials all day.
I think it's a cool thing to talk about though for a second. Is I think a lot of people are just trying to entertain, and entertainment is so subjective that a lot of people are just trying to entertain or just trying to like get a laugh out of somebody or whatever. And I think the deep work that goes into creating a great Super Bowl commercial or great anything, the strategy behind it, the truth behind it, like those couple ideas I was talking about earlier, like there's all a strategy behind it. There's all a real idea and an insight that needs to be told, and a truth that needs to be uncovered, or attention. And I think sometimes some of these ads are just trying to make people laugh, and they fall flat or they're flops because they're trying so hard to make somebody laugh or do this or do that, and they're actually just like, they're just internal, you can tell they're just kind of like internal jokes, or like back and forth, like what do you call it, like
they're not meeting people on their level at all. So we're closing this off, or we might make it at 20 minutes here. Shit. What was the last thing that you have to say? And don't make it 10 minutes long.
Find a freaking truth and attention in something. Find the truth and attention in something and tell a real story. And it can be funny, it can be heartfelt, it can be whatever. It can have any emotion. As long as there's a truth to it, then it'll probably be pretty successful. And there's a real truth and a real tension that actually can be and should be solved and should be told. Don't try to just make something just for the sake of making something, or just don't try to make something just to entertain. Like, find what that true insight is and then build something around that, and you'll know if you have something. I think that's some of the best shit that's out there.
Okay, Dave, I am going to give you some homework. So I will tell you what one of the shows is going to be about. It has to do with this show. So right after the Super Bowl, we're going to debrief our favorite ads, what we liked, what we didn't like about some of the other ads. So be prepared. So you have some advance notice. If you come that day and you say, I don't know what we're talking about, you're done. You're done,
I'm
kid.
The kid that didn't do his homework.
Yeah.
Unprepared.
All right. Thanks, Dave's mom. Thanks, Erin, Dave's sister. Thanks for listening. Thanks, Mima. I know Mima is listening for sure. Did you want to give your mom a code word on here to make sure she's listening?
Boogie Woogie. There'll be a surprise for you. If you text me Boogie Woogie, DM me, comment below, comment up top, whatever. If you made it this far, you text me.
We're gonna start putting code words on. All right. Have a good week, everybody. Bye.